Digital India, and that's the basic summary for Kurukshetra this time. So, we would be covering Digital India in terms of health, education, agriculture, and the basic reforms related to public services. So, the first idea is a single window framework for various services and e governance. Now, this would focus on information for all, public internet, fiber optic network being established, broadband services similar to the urban areas. We are connecting broadband highways, so integrating a national information infrastructure, which is in the name of NII, with the government user network and the Meghraj cloud. Also, a universal mobile connectivity is important, which would be provided to more than 50,000 villages across India. Public access to internet would be available at major points. The community centers, the gram panchayats would be having the access for the same. When it comes to e-governance, there would be lots and lots of simplification, reduction in the form filling procedure, the process of online repositories would be enhanced. And then we talk about e-kranti. E-kranti is a step by national e-governance, where we talk about technology for health, education, security, justice, finance, and related aspects. So we would be covering those one by one. Now, first talking about information to all. So we started with the era of computerization. Following the various initiatives, the National E-Governance Plan and E-Kranti, as we have discussed in 2004. Electronics manufacturing has changed the idea, with we are having fabulous designs, V-sets, set-top boxes, and smart energy meters that have been established. IT has been one of the major sources of jobs. We have lots of business processing outsourcing units being coming in India. Early harvest programs have come up. Now, these had been highly successful with the developments in agriculture, Wi-Fi security, email, public Wi-Fi, good school books, SMS-based services, disaster alert management are some of the examples. And then we have various departments working in line with Digital India program to provide these facilities to each nook and corner of the country. However, this all process takes a lot of challenges. When it comes to technical challenges, there are issues with integration, alignment, digital literacy. When it comes to organizational challenges, skilled manpower, presence of different regional languages is nearly a huge burden, and economic burden, of course, where we are paying a huge cost and limited funding is available. So, to meet these challenges, there should be optimization of resources. We must bridge out the digital device, and there should be inclusive participation in the projects. Coming on to the health sector, we have covered all these health aspects separately. Bringing in line all these health aspects together, we have the National Digital Health Mission, that is a holistic voluntary program which will integrate doctors, nurses, pharmacies, insurance companies all in one. We are also now talking about merger of foreign insurance in the Indian healthcare system. Health IDs, digi doctors, telemedicine, e-pharmacy are some of the initiatives. Then we would have a national digital health blueprint, which would include every test, every disease, and the doctors visited. So this would be the idea of the portal. Then the national health portal, established by the health ministry, would be providing various information through the mobile app and the toll free number which is given here. E-hospital at NIC would be another hospital-based ICT software system which would focus on various aspects of patient care, laboratory services, information exchange, and so on. Online registration records would be maintained. Mera Hospital or My Hospital is another initiative to capture the feedback from the patient side. So that would be affecting the OPD and the outdoor procedures in the government hospitals. Sugam is another single window system which would focus on drug standard control organization. Vaccine tracker, India fighting dengue and other various diseases has become important. Then we have HMIS, which is the Health Management Information System, a way of delivering the various programs under National Health Mission. Mother and child tracking system and the reproductive child health application would be another important aspects. Kilkari is a program which would deliver free 72 audio messages about information related to women and child. Then you would have Nikshay, which is India free of tuberculosis, where treatment adherence would be taken into account. Programs for curbing tobacco. Then you have drug and rehabilitation program, M diabetes program for more than than 1 lakh users that are already registered with it. Then similarly, Rahat Kosh, that is a kind of quality management approach for all licensed blood banks. So the e-Rakt Kosh would be one of the important steps of linking all the licensed blood banks with 7 blood banks in the states and the union territories being taken into account. E-Sanjeevani is another digital platform for providing healthcare services. Non-availability of doctors at the rural level, high burden on healthcare facilities should be immediately checked. With this, we have new norms coming in for those qualifying the undergraduate and the postgraduate exams. So E-Sanjeevani architecture is a structure of hub and spoke, where the health wellness centers at the state level are the spokes. They are aligned to the hub of doctors, and therefore it would be patient to doctor E-Sanjeevani OPD that would take into account. So E-Sanjeevani is one of the important aspects. Similar to that, we have EVIN, which is Electronic Vaccine Intelligence Network. Now this has been already in line under the mission under Indradhanush, and we are trying to bring it the same for the COVID vaccination schedule. Coming on to governance, simplification, field reduction, online repositories, online applications, integration of services and platforms, and some of the projects that are dealing to e-governance, for example, National E-Governance Plan, E-Panchayat, Bhumi, which is maintaining the land record. Similarly, we have E-Chaupal, which is checking the requirement of farmers, selling them directly to the buyers. So numerous villages, more than 35,000 villages have been connected under E-Chaupal. Gyandoot is a platform which works as Sushnalay, mainly working in the Dhar district of Madhya Pradesh, where local youth are being involved for the same purpose. We have limitations of rural India in terms of literacy. Mainly the female literacy rate is very low. So providing common service centers, improving the information about female healthcare and the child healthcare has been important. Wide variety of subjects and the facilities have been brought under this ambit, which works from agriculture to education to health to banking and financial awareness. Similarly, coming to e-literacy, we have talked about e-learning platforms separately in our various classes. Just a quick integration of those. We are moving towards online learning. So everything would be online. Then blended learning, where all the concepts at the lectures could be delivered through video, and for doubt resolution there could be one-on-one sessions, which is considered as blended learning program. Distance learning, where the students are physically separated in the remote areas, they are being sent the material, they read by themselves and then appear for the exam. Virtual learning, which is highly applicative in rural and remote areas. So rural digital education would see a sudden change with e-learning, WhatsApp group, blended hybrid model, Google Drives, and more of individualized learning. There have been numerous projects for the same. For example, Nishtha is a project for training of the teachers. Now we have covered Nishtha in a separate lecture. Similarly, Diksha is the digital infrastructure for knowledge sharing, again for the teachers for school education. Similarly, we have various other platforms like ePathshala, which is an initiative of Ministry of Education and NCERT, MHRD being renamed as Ministry of Education now. We have channels like Swayam Prabha, which we have again covered in a separate lecture. The National Repository for Open Educational Resources for Primary, Secondary and Senior Secondary classes, which has been initiated by the School Education and Literacy program. Shala Darpan, which focuses on all the KVs, the Kendriya Vidyalayas across country. Shala Siddhi, which talks about the standardization and evaluation of the individual schools. E-Granthalaya, which focuses on libraries. Disha is a portal that talks about the digital literacy mission, aims to treat or basically preach literacy to non-literate and make them IT literate. Then you have PMG Disha mission, which talks about digital services, smartphones to send and receive messages, SMS services and digital payment systems. We also have UNICEF, which focuses on the rural India for a vision to integrate virtual education and digital education with an innovative pedagogic scheme. Coming on to agriculture, agriculture has seen a drastic change with the idea of IoT being introduced, Internet of Things being introduced. The overall scope, if we say, we are trying to become a 5 trillion economy by 2024. So agriculture is indeed one of the essential sectors for those. So how do we focus towards financial inclusion, bring in private investments in agriculture? So we already had two major reforms in agriculture. One was the mechanization, which was called as the first agricultural reform. The second was the green revolution. The third was adaptation of the high-end technologies, cloud-based solutions and data-driven decisions. Now we are also focusing on precision agriculture. That means site-specific identification of the characteristics of the soil, so maintaining the soil health card of an individual area, and it's a more of like a doctor patient relationship. So it's a prescription farming where specific agriculture slot would be given specific targets and specific crops could be grown in that region. So precision agriculture is highly beneficial. We can optimize the land inputs, the resource inputs that are going in, and the risk would be eliminated to a great deal. Similarly, we are also moving towards IoT in agriculture. We are talking about large scale pilot projects for agri ecosystems and supply chain management, and also the various agricultural universities have been working in this direction, but there are certain challenges which mainly focuses on small and marginal holdings, financial issues, and a kind of mindset that the stakeholders already have. So there has to be a way forward, and the best way out is a PPP model, which is a public private partnership model, which could bring in more funding, more investments, and there could be more better long term and short term projects prospects that could be seen. Also, agri value chain system is important. We are focusing on developing a harvesting farmer network system with a mobile application that would provide virtual support group guidance to each of the farmers and the cropping patterns that are there. Mobile and internet penetration in India has increased significantly, and this would help in digitizing the farms as such. There have been various reforms in the agricultural sector. Some of those have been mentioned here, for example, e-villages, e-agri kiosks. So those are some of the aspects that we focus on. So safe food, single laboratory monitoring, export alerts have been some of those. Now Meghtooth mobile app has been forecasting the temperature, humidity, rainfall and the speed conditions. Similarly, we have iTeams Meghalaya, which is an extension program for market oriented and cloud based services with the idea of digital India, providing information to small and marginal farmers and their holdings. Agri Market app is a mobile app for crop prices in the market and to check that there is no distress sale on the part of the farmer. AgroPad is a AI powered technology to check the soil and the water health of the region. Swamitva scheme is the property which is falling within the specific geographical limit, the land records being maintained. We have covered Swamitva in a separate scheme, separate class. Then you also have the digital green, which is a voice enabled WhatsApp chatbot, and it focuses on sustainable practices and seamless market connectivity. So here are some of the startups that have been working and the basic ideas that they have taken into account. Those would be available in the handouts as well. So definitely there are challenges when it comes to digitization. Farmers are not much aware about it. There is insufficient connectivity in the rural areas. E-technology is not in the reach of farmers. Lack of timely information is there. So the best way forward is providing easy access to technology, easy access to operations, bringing in full potential of ICT and big data for the farmers. Private entrepreneurs can play a crucial role. More investment can be brought about, and a PPP model could be successful in the cases and the countries like India, where you have lot of vagaries of nature, where you have sudden monsoon changes that could be seen. So here are some of the government initiatives that have taken place in the rural areas, and we have covered those in our previous lectures as well. So e-commerce portals are again important. Now when it comes to the growth rate, we can see the changing patterns of the growth rate for various pulses that could be seen here. So there has been a significant decline in some of the major pulses. The minimum support price, how it has changed from 2016 to 2021, has been seen. There has been significant increase in the minimum support price per quintal that could be seen. And then we have certain information about the harvesting patterns. But beyond that, when we talk about being a 5 trillion economy, as we said, agriculture is one of the mainstays in India. So developing agriculture and then focusing on infrastructure would be our another aspect. Development of agriculture export hubs and allied activities through which farmers can earn more investments and private partnerships in agriculture could be one of the successful models for bringing in success in agricultural reforms. We would be talking about more on such topics in the upcoming sectors, and in this handout would be available at Examre's current affairs section in the topic of Kurukshetra. So you can just check out the various topics. We have separate topics and entries for Yojana Kurukshetra down to earth. So this would be available under the Kurukshetra section. Stay tuned for many more updates from our side. Have a wonderful day ahead.